I remember the knock, 3 sharp raps against my door. When I opened it, my mother was standing there, tears streaking her face, shoulders shaking. For a moment she looked smaller than I'd ever seen her, vulnerable, afraid. And I thought of the tickets, the cruise, the family vacation where I didn't exist. She wanted comfort. She wanted me to forget. But all I gave her were the words she earned. Now you know what exclusion feels like. It hadn't started with the cruise. It never does. Growing up, I was the easy one, the quiet one. I didn't demand. I didn't fight. My siblings needed more, so I learned to step aside. Birthdays came and went, sometimes noticed, sometimes not. I told myself love wasn't measured by celebration, that the little scraps of attention I got were enough. But hope is a dangerous thing. It keeps you believing in people long after they've shown you who they are. The real break came last spring. I'd planned a vacation, a modest one, 2 weeks away from work, a chance to breathe, to feel like life was mine for once. I remember the phone call. My father's voice was firm, almost rehearsed. "Money's tight this year. We all need to make sacrifices. It wouldn't be right for you to go while the rest of us are struggling." The guilt worked. It always had. I canceled. I swallowed the disappointment. I told myself family comes first. 2 weeks later, I found the envelope. It was on their kitchen counter, half covered by a stack of mail. Thick cardstock, cruise line branding splashed across the front. Curiosity made me open it. What I found made my hands go cold. Cabin assignments, travel dates, excursions booked. Not just for my parents, for my sister, her husband, their kids, for my brother and his girlfriend. Everyone. Everyone except me. My father's words rang in my head. Money's tight this year. Tight enough to cancel my trip, but not theirs. Not the one I wasn't even invited to. I put the papers back exactly as I'd found them. I didn't say a word. But something in me shifted that day. Anger wasn't useful. Confrontation wasn't satisfying. What I wanted was balance, justice. So I waited. And when opportunity appeared, I was ready. It came in the form of my parents' finances. I'd helped them with their bills before, set up online banking, passwords, automatic payments. They trusted me because I'd never taken advantage. That trust became my weapon. I didn't drain their accounts. I didn't steal. I redirected. Over the next few months, I adjusted small things. The property taxes, paid late, quietly. The insurance premium, missed once, then twice. Subscriptions canceled. Credit card points transferred to a travel account under my name. Each move was subtle, unnoticeable, until the weight of it all pressed down. Meanwhile, I invested in myself. Courses, a certification, travel, the very things they said I couldn't have. Every step forward for me was a step down for them. By summer's end, the cracks in their perfect image began to show. My sister called, complaining. Mom's freaking out about money. Dad's losing sleep. I listened, neutral, offering nothing. By fall, the stress was obvious. My father looked older. My mother's voice carried a tremor. They whispered about bills, about mistakes, about not knowing how it had unraveled so fast. I knew. And then came the knock. My mother at my door, breaking. She cried about betrayal, about feeling left out by her own children, about the sting of being excluded from plans she thought she should be part of. And that's when it clicked. They hadn't just excluded me, they'd taught me how exclusion works. They'd modeled it for years. All I'd done was return the lesson. I let her talk, let her sob, let her choke on the very medicine she'd given me. Then I delivered the line, calm and steady. Now you know what exclusion feels like. Her face froze. The tears slowed. In her silence, I saw the realization bloom. This wasn't sudden. This wasn't chance. This was deliberate. She left my door with red eyes and unsteady steps. I didn't follow. I didn't comfort, because I wasn't the quiet one anymore. I wasn't the afterthought, the convenient sacrifice, the empty chair. I was the one who learned, the one who turned their cruelty into clarity. Now, months later, when I think of that cruise, I don't feel bitterness. I don't feel loss. I picture them smiling on deck, sun on their faces, believing they'd gotten away with it. And I smile too, knowing what was coming for them, knowing they'd return to a house full of overdue notices and the first taste of uncertainty. They thought I was naive, disposable, blind, but I was watching, and I was patient. Revenge wasn't about shouting, it wasn't about confrontation, it was about precision, making them live the very emptiness they once forced on me. And when my mother wept at my door, I didn't see weakness, I saw justice.